out there twice, what your guess is like a lot better than anyone else's, because
staring at it for 5 years too.
So even where you are in Canada, my friend, and where I am out in the Pacific Northwest, we have structure like this that has been, it's water damage. No, it's electrical damage. Yeah.
I don't want to bet my life of anything. I just want to report what I see.
Well,
Graham Hancock says I'm a journalist.
Well,
Julia, what?
Here's another aspect, though. These changes of the
if there was a big flood everywhere and you have a plasma event, it would kind of like charge the water and kind of look like
the electric universe theory of like the Thunderbolts project. There's Vilskovsky.
Yeah, those guys are so boring. I really don't want to be a big fan.
But the thing is like they're all trying to give they're finding evidence of it coming from like out in the galaxy or the solar system, whatever the heck, but it's electroplasma events of some sort at some time that I get out of it that could have caused it originally, right? And that in these different ages of the sun or whatever these shifts are, who knows? It's fascinating what could actually be the reality of the real history from what modern science tries to tell us. But yeah, sorry to interrupt. Give us
I think that one thing that kind of supports two things is this big Adrar Plateau. Everything you see that's red is about 2,000 feet above sea level. The Rashat, that's actually down at 13. The yellow, the green, 1276. So it's concave. It's a bowl. It's carved out of there. And what actually could have removed all that content? If you had an electrical event, maybe it kind of turned it, how it turned it into magma, maybe. But if it's in a so-called dome incline, like they say, and they say, well, that's not related to volcano, that's tectonic. That's what are you talking about? The tectonic is movement of plates. Yeah, so the red part is a very thick layer. I guess it's sandstone, but it's like slate. When you drive up the mountain to get up to the top, you see all that. It's like a billion pyramids. That's definitely going to be some type of a conductor or attractant to an electrical event. It's in the middle of all that sand and there's nothing else. I don't know. Maybe it's even the squatting man event.
This is ancient demigod technology, and it's like built on a galactic scale, essentially. Like what if anybody's ever looked into Cydonia of Mars and like all the matching ancient mountain pyramids out there, and then with Samir Osmanovich's unbelievably like great research over the last 20 years, and to the point where they've been able to measure, track, image, and show that the pyramid of the sun literally has an energy beam coming out of it that follows and tracks along with the sun each day. That's, and then that when they found Chichen Itza, when they found Teotihuacan, they were covered in like both what's that crystal? It was
mica,
which is
like a vitrification
insulator.
And where they were mining it was 1,000 miles to the south.
Yeah, right. So it's like they had these layers of them, and then they're told that they were also covered on top of that with like gold and silver, like layers of metal, like literal layers of.
So just a weird quick point of reference. We're showing all this here. So exactly. Cairo, Egypt is known from Al Qaira, which means Mars. So Cairo is Mars. And so on Mars, we have Cydonia, and Cydonia is the area around Cairo that makes up Giza and goes all the way out into the eastern desert and partially into the western desert.
Yeah, so I've been looking at
Cydonia on Mars. So anyway, just connect.
Just look at how clear the 1976 image is compared to what they show us now.
Right?
Yeah, white. But yeah, this was supposed to be the Pentagon. Actually, I'm wrong. That I made a mistake. But anyways, the Pentagon is right there in that little picture, And then this little thing, you can't even see what the hell's going on. But I don't know if you remember, like I do, because we were waiting and waiting for the new scans of this face on Mars. And I think it was 1992. We finally got to see it.
Yeah, they showed us the cat box, and it was like
they
4
showed us
images.
How old are you, Hans? You remember?
Oh, I'm well aware of this stuff. It's like
I'm old, my friend.
Okay, so you had to wait like 12 years between like the first time when it gave you this clear image of the impossible face, and then like the supposed next one 12 years later for the.
It was a cat box, like you just said.
But it's like
they were laughing at us.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Here's the thing: the technology was exponentially better by a decade, yet the image quality they gave and delivered was exponentially degraded by 2 to 3 like levels of technology.
It was like they were blatantly lying to us, and you know how it is when
Devon
you hear all
Island. Devon Island.
Which one island?
They did it intentionally. Yeah.
Devon Island, like that's where it's like they go and practice. Like NASA's like, oh, we just send our rovers there at Devon Island, but people have found
up in the
what they tell us is Mars. What they tell us is Mars is actually Devon Island, Canada.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then they admit that they admit that they go there and they train there, but they won't admit that that's what they're.
They distract you with some things that are true, some things that are not true.
Yeah. So Devon Island is the largest uninhabited island in the world, and it's in the largest northernmost island of Canada, and it is also where NASA officially does its like rover
and if you look at
testing,
side-by-side
like
pictures of
testing, but
where is it? Where's Devon Island?
It's way up in the Nordic.
Giant one at the most north of Canada, and that it also I've done an episode. Shout out to Shem Jacobs, who was on here earlier, but we took too long to get going. He had to leave. But with him and Elkman, where the Elkman showed an ancient map of an area of Devon Island called Pyramid Bay, and then live on this episode, I looked up some images, and boom, there's several mountain pyramids on Devon Island. And that the whole bay areas and canals, there's giant terraformed canals and pyramids all throughout this area of Devon Island, literally Canada's most.
Remember, a pyramid.
But there's some people that have done some pretty big research.
Coming to a pinnacle, all the pyramids in South America don't come to pinnacles. Even the ones in Peru.
There's some great research that will show things that are on Devon Island and then show previous photos that they claim were Mars photos.
What the hell is this? What's going on there? Is that a cave?
Right? Like, there's just so much ridiculous.
Well, I want to see. I want to hurry through these. There's 20 of them. I can't help myself. I just can't stop.
Somebody grab delicious content.
All right. So, where's these pyramids?
I'll find them. I've got images saved. You continue.
Like I said, they don't necessarily need to come to a pinnacle.
We're getting distracted from the root cause.
It can be partial structure. Yeah.
And also, I can't wait for you to show me the stuff that you're talking about in Colorado. In fact, why don't we just go there right now? Because look, the Rashad structure has led me to so much more that I can't unsee or unexperience. If I start, everybody write down @0control. He's a guy I know, his channel @0control. He's the one who said, go look at Lesotho. So I went down there and looked at it. I don't want to get too deep into it, but did I show you all the, let me just go to the one map I have. It's right here. Show on map. So if you look, all those little yellow lines, one of them is even 100 miles long. These are the volcanic dikes that I've traced. Let me just show you the one I know I showed you last time, but it's really one of my favorites right here. And you see all these different angles. I got to get rid of this to show you. But look at all those different angles in the ground. And this is, I believe it has to do with ancient mining. They were megalithrically terraforming the earth. I mean, you don't have triangles like that. Okay. And it got me really passionate. You got me really passionate. Wow. Some of these go on for 40 kilometers. It's near South Africa in Lesotho. And
God, yeah.
This goes on, like I said, let me put the lines back on so you can see how extensive this is. This is the great escarpment right here. I think it implies that something got washed away because the lines just seem to stop. And then why is Lesotho so visible? I think, and those channels I showed you before we started the show are all right here. They're all leading up into the mountain. This is, if you look at the terraforming, the topographical map of this area, Plato mentioned a big old massive canal system in Atlantis. Okay, I'm not down there yet. Here we are.
There's canal systems everywhere, though.
Well, what about the Kalahari canal systems? Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Just kind of weird that Lesotho sticks out on top of this great escarpment. Did they pile debris on top of that? I'm talking about something big, massive. Like I said, there's a lot of lines going into that area. All those yellow lines right there. The Kalahari canals, we talked about it last time. It's right up here. You can see them. You can see these straight lines. It's 250,000 square miles of these straight lines. They're all about a mile wide. And it's like an ancient system that maybe that's what Plato was writing about. I mean,
I don't doubt it at all. We should actually, I'll let you continue going.
I'll show you this up here.
You got
see how we see these straight lines. That must have been, okay, look, I'm not a geologist, but I don't think any geologist can say what caused this big, massive complex of straight lines in the middle of Africa. And their canals.
Had to be master builder, demigod, technology.
I agree. Poseidon level shit. Like
exactly.
Father Nature, but with intelligent design. Yeah. I have a better picture of that.
What about like a terraforming type thing, like an agriculture?
Here's an example of where some flood took it out right there. That escarpment,
probably combination of both. And yeah, exactly. That there was this massive tectonic. There's the crustal displacement theory, and even Einstein, before he died, said like his last writings into it was that he ruled in the favor of it being a crustal displacement and cataclysmic tidal wave ocean wipeout over this gradualism of what they currently call
gradualism is uniformitarianism, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's gradualism, and literally before World War I, every single institute in the world, higher academic institute in the world, taught catastrophism and taught that Atlantis was the official history. And when you read these older writings, everybody's, they compare to the grandeur, lost ancient god and demigod building and technology and all of this, the ruins that they walk amongst and that they're belittled by, right? That we're just nothing in comparison to it, as opposed to today's enforced YOLO Western, we're the best that's ever been mindset. That's the exact opposite of what the evidence seems to present.
Look, I'll show a couple more things around here, and then we can get over to Colorado, because I think what you said, this terraforming project here is in the lips of who I call the Englishman. Down below him, if you go straight down below this face, I showed you these straight lines and these mountains down here. I mean, you just get these weird. I don't think these are even really volcanic dikes anymore, because some of them look like they're just poopy mountains. But where was it? I got a little lost. But I'm telling you, they were building mountains with this overburden dumping. And I can take you back to Mali and show you what I showed you. It's called Telebit. Before we do, we'll go back into his lips. I'm telling you, they were terraforming this whole area. This is just one project, and it's not just that line. You see this here, but you also see, let me just zoom in out so you know where we're talking about. Looks like a face. That's the nose. That's the chin. These are the lips. It's called Tibesti Mountains. And this type of project, it's got several different time events, but you can see that they did something to the ground. I mean, it's like they melted it or something. So when you look at the Canyonlands in Utah or the Colorado River and you say that was natural, well, somebody had the power to really terraform this planet. And I don't know what happened here, but it goes all up into the mountains. You start to notice that even up in this mountain here, you start to see the lines are these 90-degree cuts, 45-degree angles, 90 degrees. It's like somebody was working this whole thing. And there's several projects. Over here, you see more of these, I think you could call these volcanic dikes. That's what a geologist would call them, these lines. But which came first, that or the terraformed stuff underneath it that you can see like right here? Like which was first? I kind of feel like maybe these lines came second. Like somebody said, we need to control this water. So they're like, they don't want to make a proper dam. So they just put debris in a nice straight line. And if you don't believe me, I'm going to show you one more thing and then I'll shut my mouth for a bit. But let's go back out. You can see this is Chad. I'm sorry, that's Niger. Sorry, Niger. And I think that all those are fake. But over here, the area in Mali has this thing called Telebit. I think this is the smoking gun. I think this is a smoking gun because you literally see 100 lines side by side here. And you get the occasional one going across the top like that. You get the cross hatching. Look at this one. If you get in there, they're 60 feet wide. And you can see pictures of this by clicking on the layers and going to photos. Unfortunately, there's none right here, but down south a little bit, we start to see some photos. And you can see what these mountains look like. They're just basically piles of rocks. And it looks like, I bet you if you dug underneath there, you'd find sand again. Like literally, this is so massive and so large. I know I sound crazy even talking about it. I told you I wrote these 2 books, but I'm going to write another book called The Mountain Builders. I'm going to put all this in the same book, The Mountain Builders. And there's different projects, different layers. This one right here is like they just dumped rocks. But in Colorado, they were creating volcanic dikes. Somehow they've got technology that created these big walls. I can get into that later. So Mali, yeah, you get in and take a look at the photographs of these areas, and you just see piles of rocks. These so-called straight line mountains. It'll go back in one more time. There's a circular dike here. Telebit is here. I like the one. That's the one I just showed you. These straight lines. I mean, they were building mountains out of their debris, out of the overburden dumping. Remember, Mansa Musa inherited the gold. Who did all the mining? Look at this part right here. It looks like total cross hatching. Like you can see the things going left and right, but you can also see them going up and down. It's just, to me, it's the big smoking gun that proves that could be 1 million years old. I don't know. It doesn't look 1 million years old because we know the Sahara was green twice in the last 15,000 years. So I don't know. I mean, I just know that somebody was working this planet. Oh, yeah, it gets crazier and crazier up here in the Algeria, Libya. But I promised I'd shut up for a second. So
no, keep going.
Okay, I'm going to zoom into Planetary Valley, Libya. I've shown this a lot, so a lot of people may have seen me show Planetary Valley. When you zoom in here, have you ever been in a machine shop where they're welding metal and you get those spherals all over the floor? I think that's what we're looking at here. I'm going to turn it this way because I feel like we're in
those are actually EVOs, exotic vacuum objects.
Have you ever looked into like mineral rights, like of like what's rich over there, the uranium deposit? Like, do you ever look into what the resources are in that area?
Gold, iron, in Mauritania, iron. I think that there's all sorts of metals. These are called concretions. But the ones in Peru this is a lake. I don't know where the hell that lake is. I didn't see any lake. And it's missing the good one. Where the hell is that good one at? Hold on, I got it right here. It's right here. This one was in somebody's. Somebody had posted a photo in there. I mean, that's almost like a perfect sphere in my position, my opinion.
That's
Sorry.
there. That's
it's supposed to be. I could be wrong. It could be. I don't have evidence. I didn't see it personally.
Okay.
But yeah, these things are. This is called Planetary Valley, and I think that, like, people say that it's this and it's that, but I think that when you look at the fact that these to me look like overburden dumping, maybe they are like some type of a welding thing. I don't really want to talk about how it happened because I can't prove it. But what I can say is, if this is an overburden dump, the ones down in a modern day mine are about 22 feet wide from a dump truck. This is 200 foot wide, and that's just one of them. And there's some that are twice as big. So, and by the way, if you say, well, where did all that come from? Well, I think it came from right next door in Algeria. This is, and I know I already showed you this last time we talked, Bernie, but this one right here, let me get north. I don't know where I'm at. This whole area. This is
you would actually show this again. It's so happy.
This is the Tassil Niger National Park. It's right along that same ancient line that we were talking about earlier. And when you zoom in here, you can clearly see. I like this spot, and I showed it to you before, but there's lots of other places. You can clearly see the quarrying that went on in here. My favorite one to look at is this rectangle here. I'm going to tweak it just a little bit so it's not north-south, but I mean, maybe that's not really the ancient axis that I always see. But if you measure this to here and this to here, it's the exact same number. So who is doing all this ancient work? This is a quarry. I mean, I used to think that was natural, like in Utah. But honestly, when you take a look at it, you can see the
it's in Utah, but Utah ain't natural either. That's the thing.
Well, I believe Utah is the same thing. It's along the Colorado River. I'm talking about the Canyonlands, and you see something a little similar called the Needles, but it looks like it was a big mining project. And then, of course, millions of years of erosion after. Look at that line right there. Tell me that was natural. Tell me that's natural. This is a quarry, but they're not telling us it's a quarry.
That's impossible.
And it's giant. It's 200.
It's like they're collecting something. It's like to collect.
Well, it looks like a circuit board. I mean, I've got another spot I like.
Well, the fact that they're using the same longitude around the globe is also interesting because, wow, it's like what specific mineral is only found there, right?
Right. I think it's right here. The one that I like is over here. And what they do is they do this quarrying. Look at these lines here. They do this.
Well, I'm sure there's different tactics too to collect it. Like,
yeah, it's definitely different tactics. I'm going to show you some of that idea later on by the Colorado River. These, I believe, they were using these waterways as placer mining, but it looks like a computer circuit board at this point.
Yeah, it does, that last spot.
Like Michael Tellinger was talking about, like maybe they had some way of.
Or like Atlantis, as much as it is like simulation evidence.
So I think they made that mound right there could be modern day. I think they're burial grounds. That's big though. That's like really big. Sometimes you see, that's not so big. So I believe that's a modern day burial mound right there. But I think that you sometimes see a bigger thing poured right on top of this core. Like they were just getting rid of this slurry, this overburden tailings. Look at this. Look at all those lines. And you're like, oh, that's natural. That's perfectly natural. You don't know anything about geology if you think that's done by. That's what I always hear. You don't know anything about geology.
Giant honeybees.
Perfectly natural. Say again?
Said giant honeybees.
Yeah, exactly. And this is their hive. And look at this, like you said, different stuff, different types of stuff's going on.
I'm not so sold on them it being for gold too, because from what I understand, like from when this occurred, like that long ago, it was gold was like abundant, from my understanding.
Well, and maybe okay, so the Anunnaki ancient alien theory or whatever you want to call it.
Right, the Zachariah Sitchin that they came and that we were made to basically be their bitches and get the gold, right? I don't buy that either.
That's why there isn't it.
I don't want to believe my DNA was altered by some race, but I'm seeing this and I'm saying, well, who the hell did it? And by the way, there's like 1 million pyramids worth of stone in here. And by the way, you also see these angles, like right here. I was just focused in and I backed out, but you see these angles right here, and it's like, is that angle the same as this angle right here? Why is that these geometric shapes showing up? I want to just kind of zoom over to some other place I know and back it up with, I believe there's a lot of this quarrying going on. I showed you the one by the Rashat structure, which is right here. But up here, I couldn't find it last time I was live. It was embarrassing. Wait a minute. Now I'm lost again. Hold on. Oh, that's over here. Sorry. This is in Algeria again. And what you start to see are these weird, this is called erg check. I don't know what erg means, but you see that looks like these angles, these walls. These are walls. This junction right here, that's not natural. And when you look inside there, you start to see these things that have, okay, I got lost again. I always get lost here. I think it's right here though. Let's go over here. I think it's right here. You start to see these geometric cuts in the plateaus. I can't find it. Not prepared. I swear it's right here though. I'm going to find it for you later. I'll show you again. But you get these geometric cuts. And I know I'm sounding crazy. But who made these walls? And what, I mean, these walls are like, how does that happen in nature? It's got, I hate to say it, looks like a nipple right there. There's an arc. Then you go over, you have this other structure, and then another arc, and then another arc up here, arc after arc after arc. Are these, okay, now sorry, I'm not showing you some important stuff. This one right here, I think this is one of the more beautiful ones. I believe this is what I'm talking about, this geometric quarrying. Now, they say in Canyonlands, oh, it's perfectly natural to have parallel lines form on a plateau and then suddenly decay into the needles. Well, this has more than just two sets of parallel lines. This is, you see this one right here, one, and then you can see this other one kind of going across it, and then you see one going up and down. There's three different directions here. I like this one up here. You can totally see, like, I was even thinking maybe this is modern day. Like, I would be willing to, if somebody said, oh, that was when Algeria went and they did something back in last century, I'd say, okay, I'll accept that. But this is vast.
There's like this, there's like that all over the world, even in throughout the U.S. in like Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Nevada. There's stuff like that.
Let's go, man. Let's go, because I have some stuff I want to show you, and I want to see what you are going to show me. So when you zoom into Arizona here, you can see the Grand Canyon right about there. And the one that I'm always checking out is here. This is, I always get lost because there's some similar shapes. But I really think that this is a good example. Like this mound here, it's just a little bit too convenient. It's like got the little saddle between it. I just feel, and then over here on the sides of it, you've got all the geometric, you've got the geometric stuff going on. I do have this marked. Let me see if I can find it in
these plateaus
right here. Yes, but here's the one thing about that. So I just demarcated a bunch of quarries, but they're not the highest point. So as we zoom in again, take a look. Down here where I've got all this stuff marked, that's 4,800 feet, but there's a higher level up here. So they're not up there doing the quarrying at the top. They're down here doing the quarrying.
Wow.
Let's go take a look at one of them. This one was kind of weird. I found these recently here. All these cuts. And I know that a lot of it does look natural, but it's just a little too convenient when I see some that are not as natural. Like here. It feel like this whole area was being worked, and they must have had like a big, huge skill saw, and they were chopping up this I don't know. I know I sound crazy, but honestly, these straight lines, some of them are very geometric. I'm looking for the good one. Hold on, let me back out and find the good. And then this thing, that thing to me is like some kind of a dump right on top of everything. When you see that different color over here, it doesn't look like a mountain anymore. You've got this this stuff going on over here. The good ones, I'll never find them live, right? I got some really good ones Like this one is pretty good. And you can see it's more than just parallel lines. It gets to the point where you see 3 different lines. This one is just 2 different directions. But when you start to see triangles, then you know you've got a 3rd direction going on. Is that anything that you've been looking at, Bernie? What happened to Bernie?
That is actually new to me. Keep going a little bit. I'm getting together before we get into my stuff. Why don't we take Hans? Do you want to give?
Can I give it? Can I hand over the screen? Can you open up your screen, Hans? Because I need to take a break.
For what? Sorry.
For showing us what you. I was hoping you could show us some stuff on the map in Nepal.
Some Nepal stuff on it.
Oh my God! I don't have my Google.
Well, we can go to. I can go to Nepal.
Yeah, you're the best at operating the Google or Stig. But
all right, I'm going to share my background again. Where's the share?
Hans will be the captain, and.
Well, how about we zoom into Nepal again and you show us? So, yeah, I think that all those red lines, I know that a lot of the stuff I just showed you wasn't so impressive. But if you go up the Colorado River all the way up to Utah.
Are you? We're not seeing if you're trying to share something.
Oh, are you presenting? Oh, I didn't present. Sorry.
Yes,
I apologize. All right. Anyways, I think I presented, right? There it is.
Yeah, now we're good.
Tell us about Nepal.
So it's the size of California, basically. There's 42 different tribal groups with their own languages. And you have everything from the plains of India, which are, a couple 100 to 1,000 feet, to the world's tallest mountain sandwiched right there in the smallest of fingers of South Asia.
You were born there?
No, I lived there from the age of 4 until I graduated from high school.
So where's the city? Because I was looking for. Is that Butwai?
Kathmandu. No.
Kathmandu. Okay, there it is.
Right there. Yep. Bingo. So Kathmandu is at like 4,500 feet. It's massive now. There's 600 million people that live there, something like this.
Wow, 600 million. That sounds like a lot. That's the almost
6 million. Sorry, something like that.
Is this your high school?
No, that's actually downtown. That's the sports arena. If you zoom in south of that, hold on, go down. Yep, zoom in. No, left, up, left, right there where that green area is. No, back down. No, that green area.
Is that water?
So no, that's.
It looks like a boat right there.
Go back out.
It could be. A lot of them do have these ancient
terraform. Look for Robbie Bowen, Rabibawan.
That right there.
That actually could be it. No.
I just see the track is all. But I click the street views because I'm ready to start street viewing.
No, back out. Sorry.
Let me just put it right here. Robbie, ROBB.
RABI or Robbie.
Oh, RABI.
Bowen, BAWAN. Yeah, there it is.
Well, that says Kathmandu. Oh,
yep,
Housing
correct.
Society?
Yep.
Is that where you grew up? Did you live in a housing? Is that it? Ravi Bhavan.
So the international school is right there. Wow.
That's the right there. Olympic-sized swimming pool?
Yep, that's it. Wow.
You went there?
Yeah.
All right.
We didn't have the swimming pool then, but.
See if we can find any sites. Where's the front door? Right here?
No. It's like up.
There it is. There it is. That's it.
No, that's the back alleyway. Oh my God.
How many times did you smoke cigarettes there?
You were just in the back alleyway by the temple. Yeah, interesting.
Okay, let me point it north. No,
the front entrance is right there. Shit. Anyway, it's the second building It's in between the first and the second building from the swimming pool.
Oh, right there, right here.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, so that's the right there. Okay, so this is. It doesn't show the front door.
No, of course it wouldn't.
So you walk down.
Go up the street. Yeah, that's the alleyway that goes behind it. So
unfortunately, it's not letting me go up that way. I can't go that way. I can go down this way.
Wow.
Well, maybe not. Let's try it.
So that alleyway is, yeah.
So you know this.
Used to bike down that street, shortcut to the main road.
Is that Korean? Is that the Korean school right there? Or is that
there are other this is all new. I haven't been here in years, so I have no idea what's there.
All right. Let me get out of here.
That's funny. Wow. All right. Yeah, but that's all Lincoln School there. Yep.
Wow, Nepal, Kathmandu. Like there's two cities
that's where
I want to go to.
Oh my God,
Timbuktu. I want to go to Timbuktu and Mali, and then Kathmandu is the other one that.
So it's at like 4,700 feet is the valley, but then you're surrounded by an upper level of hills and then mountains above it. And if you watch Doctor Strange, you'll kind of see that, but most of it's CGI, so don't count on what you're looking at, but it's interesting to see.
There's Kathmandu. So kind of like that.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of layers here. Yeah, so can you read, is that Sanskrit? Can you read it?
It's not Sanskrit. That's all Nepalese, yeah, or Hindi, one or the other. Urdu, Hindi, similar spoken, different visual. Yeah.
Oh, there. See, sometimes when you grab it after you choose a layer in this topography, you grab it and then it reveals all the stuff.
Province. Oh goodness, that's hilarious. Wow.
Look at that. Look at that number right there. Anything that's white is like 28,000 feet.
Oh, you're literally the width of California. You have every trophic level you could imagine going to the highest mountain.
All the way down. Yeah, look at that. In Nepal.
So, and 42 different cultural groups. So Pokhara is a lake that was formed very quickly. The mountains collapsed and broke apart and formed this lake called Feywatal. There's cave systems all over it. Pokhara, where you are. Yeah.
There it is. At least I saw that word you just said. Yeah. Feywatal. Right there.
Feywatal. And then it drains out into Devi's cave. Devi was a tourist who drowned. She got swept into the cave system.
What?
Where's she from? Caves that go under the lake, and they don't open the system very often, but they will. And my friends and I on spring break went down there and paid a bunch of guides to take us all the way up underneath. So you're looking up at the waterfall that comes down from Feywatal, Davies Falls, they call it.
I can't find it right now. Where's that lake at? There's Kathmandu. So there's a river.
Yep, keep going keep going west west. Yeah, keep going west. You'll find it.
I don't know. I think I got lost.
Go up. No, you got it.
I had it?
Yeah, go up. It's right in that area. Yeah.
It's right up here? Oh, that.
No. Shit.
Oh, there's a lot of them. Here, let me look at
this. It's called Pokhara. Look for Pokhara. Yeah, there it is. You're right there. Yeah, Pokhara.
Oh, okay. So there's Pokhara. There's Kathmandu. All right, let's try.
So that's by crow flies like 200 kilometers, 300 kilometers. It's the distance from Portland to Seattle, but it's a 9-hour drive.
Well, yeah, and I once, so California, the size of California, it's going to be even longer to go across. I mean, I don't see any roads. Like, you must have like the smallest roads, and
they're one lane, and you're passing these Tata semi trucks that often fall over, or it's kind of crazy, man. It's one of the most as you can see, insane terrains you'll ever see in your life. Because the Indian plateau is pushing up into the Himalayas like daily.
I was going to look at that lake.
There were two earthquakes back to back. So yeah. Oh, weird. You're backward.
Flip it the other way around. I'm backwards. No wonder.
Yeah.
No wonder I couldn't find it.
There we go.
Now the lake is going to be
okay. So better, yeah.
So that line, the lake is like right here. There it is. See, and now I found it.
Bingo.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Don't.
So toward the bottom of the lake, if you go down
here,
is Devi's Falls. Yeah, there's Fewa Dam. Keep going down. Yeah.
The river.
It ends up at Devi's Falls eventually.
Looks like it's a power. Do they create power there? Is that a power?
Yeah, they do now. Yeah, correct. That's why they opened the dam. But there's a cave system that's all underneath that. I mean, that's a deep, deep crevasse right there. So the legend is, obviously, the mountain collapsed into a body of water and created this deep water lake. And there's caves underneath the whole thing. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing when you get in there.
My dad used to live in Pokhara. This is
so you probably stood right there.
Homesick all of a sudden. Sorry.
They even have their sign, Pokhara. There you go. Boom. Yeah. It's just like Hollywood.
So that's where you get on the raft to go across to the Fishtail Lodge is right there. So you're on a pole raft that they take you across. That's the Fishtail Lodge right there. Oh, this is.
You remember this?
You're killing me here, dude.
Well, yeah. You just got to get back out there. Maybe you can do some tours.
I miss Nepal a lot. It's changed so much.
What is that?
A lot of what
airports?
You see here on Lakeside did not exist when I lived there.
Why do they have
another? They have another airport. What?
Yeah, what's up with that? They got
They were gonna put an international airport, but that's not a long.
That's got to be it right there. Then
that must be. Wow.
The one in Pokhara. What is it?
So the Dusit Thani Fulbari Hotel is near there, and I did a bunch of graphic design work for their opening. No, near that other airport.
Oh, okay.
It's called the Fulbari, Fulbari. It's probably that piece of land to the right. To the other direction, yeah. That there, weird. All right, maybe not.
No straight roads in this town.
Oh God, no! There's no straight roads in Nepal. Period. But the most amazing view.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Is that what's that mountain up there?
So that's the whole Annapurna range. So you have the Fishtail, which is Machu Picchu, Annapurna 7, 6, and then the rest of the Annapurna range. Most of the Annapurna range has never been climbed, not for a lack of trying. They're just sacred. They're sacred mountains, and the villagers and your porters will push you off the trail and kill you.
Why? What? Oh,
because the mountains are sacred. They don't want people climbing them. So most of Annapurna has never been climbed.
Interesting. Yeah, no, and I've never really Google Earthed over here. There's a lot of places I don't touch, and this is one of them. And can you imagine being up in the mountains, just walking
This
around?
land changes so quickly and rapidly. The question is, how old is it? Oh, it's millions of years old, but I don't think it is. I think it happened very quickly, like the Dolomites in Italy and Patagonia. There are all these like quick formation. Isostases. Hancock talks about this. Randall talks about this. If you're going to remove a ton, 2 miles of ice, hundreds of thousands of miles of 2 mile ice in a week or less, you're going to have a ripple effect on the rest of the planet. And so a lot of this is thought to be isostases situations. Where's this? Sorry.
What do you think they're growing there?
Where is this?
It's in the mountains, and maybe it's in a different country already. It's upside down again. I don't know. I just thought that was a very cool because I can't. You know what I'm seeing there is
it's all rice patties mostly, millet.
That
rice.
looks like there's no water. Rice paddies is in a water pool, right?
Yeah, you have water going through there. That's a river going through there.
It looks like Alice in Wonderland.
If you zoom in on that, that's actually a river going through there. It's pretty big.
Yeah, you can see. Is that the water?
No, up near the village to the right.
Right in here?
Yeah, that area. Yep. Right in there.
Well, it must be. That's very interesting. It feels like when I see this, I just don't know what I'm looking at. It's all upside down and gigantic.
Yeah, these are all rice paddies and probably trees. A lot of trees. So they grow pear, apples, Marfa apples all come out of Washington State. My dad and the Peace Corps helped bring the Marfa apple seeds to this area, and they grow pear and what's the other one? Apricot. Yeah. And so they'll make brandy out of this or preserves because they don't have electricity, so they're growing this. So they make it into alcohol. It's like apple schnapps or pear schnapps.
They don't have any electricity in the houses out there?
A lot of it's solar now, but it didn't used to be.
Yeah. Right.
Or micro hydro. That's what I'm saying. There's definitely water going through that valley. And so they will harness that water to create electricity. There's a lot of micro hydro going on in Nepal. But yet again, you're just like in the middle of nowhere. It's 6-day walk to the nearest road that you might find a truck that will take you back to civilization 3-4 days later. So,
right.
Yeah, you're in the middle of nowhere.
You don't want to get caught out there. You don't want to get stranded. But at the same time, it's not. I mean, how cold is it, or what's it like right now?
You're at 9,000 feet here, probably 10,000. Yeah.
So it's pretty cold.
It gets cold, yeah.
I mean,
but you're also at the longitude of Los Angeles, so.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, but Los Angeles
at least Kathmandu is, yeah. So that's what, the 36 parallel, yeah. You're still on that line of your line. If you continue your line, it will end up in Kathmandu, guaranteed. Your red line on your map.
Oh, is it? Oh, interesting. Oh, yeah, look at that. It's going right over here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you continue that line,
wow,
you're going to end up in Kathmandu. Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
What else is on that line? And so then it kind of goes up this. I don't even know what's on in that picture that I showed. There's so many that I'm not familiar with. Hold on, let me find that.
You're going to go through Bhutan. You're going to go through, yeah.
Right there.
Burma, Cambodia, parts of Thailand. Yeah.
Yeah, right there.
You see it right there. Yeah.
And then what have we got? And this is, by the way, where's Taiwan? It doesn't really show Taiwan. Oh, Taiwan's right there.
Yeah.
What is this that it's going through? Oh, I see. It's going all the way down.
That's all Indonesia.
Yeah. And then that's Easter Island right there. What is that one?
That's like Tonga or, yeah. It's not New Zealand, but it could be actually.
Okay, so we got it. Where's Easter Island? There. So it's right before Easter Island. Machu Picchu, Nazca, Easter Island.
After.
This island right here. How do you pronounce that? Anatium? You just said that, right?
Anatium, yeah.
You just said that right there, right?
That's part of like the New Zealand strain out. Yeah. It's before you get to New Zealand.
There's a bunch on here I don't even know, like every single one. Prey Vihair.
That's all the Ring of Fire in a weird sense, right? Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. I always consider this the Ring of Fire.
Because New Zealand is just south of the one that we're talking about.
Yeah, it's a little bit skewed. I'm not a big fan of that map, and people used to pick on me and say it was a flat earther map.
No, go down to the right.
Oh yeah,
Papua New Guinea. Yeah, keep going down. It's Fiji. Wow, interesting.
Fiji, the water, right?
Interesting. Or go down
this way.
Yeah, no, it's Fiji.
Check out Nan Madol and the
or whatever that is. Yeah, New
Not this one, Tuvalu.
It could be New Caledonia.
There's so many
I think it's Fiji.
Like the corners of what on the ancient map stated were Lemuria, there's these Macronesian, Polynesian islands.
It's New Caledonia, actually. Yeah.
They're insane. What they actually
are. Could be Fiji, but I think it's New Caledonia.
Christmas Island, aka Easter Island. I wonder, is it called Easter Island / Christmas
right there.
Island?
That's Easter Island right there.
Not that.
What does that say?
Mangaroa.
Oh, it's not Naparua. Yeah, okay.
Look at all that looks like Easter Island. Yeah, it is. You're right. It is Easter Island.
Easter Island, yeah. Look at it. Giant triangle.
I always got fixated over
bet
here.
You the alignments have to do a big thing with why they call it Easter Island or Christmas Island. That's right around the solstice and the equinox. That they want you to be there to see what happens on the pyramids. And there's supposed a pyramid carved into one of the quote-unquote volcanoes of Easter Island. Like there's pyramids on Easter Island.
Right. There's this one little thing here. I always... I guess it's right there. Let me see if I can get the blue dot. Like right here. And you see these tunnels. Maybe it's that one right there. It's like, where do those tunnels go? It looks like it's an underground. Okay, so that one's not full of water. But they could have been full of water a long time ago.
Though.
And there's another one that...
We have these in the Columbia Gorge in the waterfalls.
Right here.
There's caves that go way, way, way up.
I'm kind of curious about this one right here.
Blazies up there, but you know.
I mean, what the heck's that? That looks like it's
look at that. That is 100% artificial master built. Look at that. That is wow. That is an aquifer entrance.
Where is this? Sorry.
No, this is Easter Island. I happen to know it, so I decided to show it.
Easter Island. What?
Let me just back up.
Wow.
Did you go to Easter Island, David?
Mind blown.
Yeah, this is Easter Island.
No, but did you go there? Have you been there?
No. You know who has gone there is Wandering Wolf Productions. He's got a lot of megalithic stones in North America.
Exactly, Michael.
Michael Collins, right? I'm trying to turn this off. Hold on. I'm doing the wrong thing. Yeah, I met him. He came out here, and we were all at CPAC together. I wish I could have hung out a little more. Wait, let's turn this off. There, turn those off. Yeah, so... let me zoom out a little bit. First, let's go north so we know which way we're zooming out. So this is on the western side. That's that thing we were just looking at. And there's a bunch of hotels right here and the airport. And they got so many calderas on this island, like that. And this one is like a total volcano full of water or something. I don't know what's going on in there. It looks like it's
geyser.
Something's putting that water in there. So yeah, Anna Kaitana right there. That's where I would go first if I were to go to Easter Island because of that. I don't see any other examples, but there's some other dots here that you could show. But I always stand on this one and then I want to go in there, right? I mean, what the heck? It's
interesting. There's like symbols on like the heads. Like when you dig deeper that you don't see in photos too often.
Yeah, it shows the amount of dirt that has moved on that island and how old they are, right? Anyways, yeah, it looks like it's just a river going right in. I mean, I don't know if you can get a boat in there, not with those rocks, but time passes and things get. But that does look symmetrical and like you said,
way too symmetrical. of an arch and a straight out canal, like either a secret modern day built like submarine base, which I highly doubt, or ancient as F and part of the macro terraforming that this place probably is. And
it is
super
interesting that it's near the airport.
I would also want to go there. Kayak
out there.
Oh. Yeah. Good point.
I like this line of trees.
Talking about the Rongo language.
The what?
The Rongo mystery is absolutely crazy. Rongo, that's their pictographic language that they've now found on all of the heads on the bodies. When you dig them out, there's this ancient inscribed Rongo pictographic language. Complete language. They're like, oh, they weren't advanced. They had nothing. No, super ancient, super old, super advanced.
Right. That's like what we were talking earlier about the.
Isn't it similar to the Indus Valley language?
It's the same one as in the Indus Valley. You got it, 100%. It's almost identical.
Like we were talking about this symbol found underneath the water in Yonaguni earlier, and it's actually Vinken.
It's actually what?
Vinken?
Really? Romanian or ancient.
So I'm looking for one that's taking it off one of the Maoris. So they just basically they carved. Is this it? The Rongo, the second mystery of Easter Island in Chile.
Yeah, that's the Rongo pictographic language. And it's the same that's in the Indus Valley. That's neither have supposedly been deciphered
very similar,
by modern. Yeah.
This is why decoding the ancient language is so important, and the AI can help with that.
It is, and there's major breakthroughs happening and coming, and you're so bang on with that, Julia. And that there was a prophecy by one of the Easter Island elders or shamans or something about in the future the language would be verified and by set humanity's official history or something like that. But that's currently in, I think, maybe Wikipedia, but academic, officially, they don't even accept it as a real language, and they're trying to claim it's fake and forged, and that it was just carved on by the inhabitants of the time of colonization, and that there was no evidence prior to that time of wood being brought by global trade. Only for now, when we started to dig out the Easter Island heads, the entire bodies are covered with the exact same pictographic Rongo language, proving undeniably, right? It's pretty awesome stuff.
Yeah, and it's like a little pictograms. I like the little guy on the tree. Is that an animal on the tree? I'm trying to get closer.
Similar to the ones I've seen in around Nazca and Peru and Bolivia stuff too, kind of, actually.
There they are. This is what I want right there. The one with the guy on the tree. Where's that one? I do speak Chinese, so I'm very interested in all the little pictograms and symbols. And I don't read Chinese very well, but I know how to. I studied characters for a long time.
So the tree is not in this one.
Yeah, this doesn't look very much like Chinese. But then again, I think Chinese is just something even more ancient. I like that one right there. That one looks similar to.
Interesting that we're showing these. Hold on.
Hold on. What's that? I'm closing it all down. Too many tabs open. Yeah, that guy on the tree right there. That's an interesting one. It looks that looks so weird. I'm pretty sure that's a tree with a guy climbing it. And you see what I'm talking about?
You were saying ancient Chinese glyphs. So.
Oh yeah, what is that?
Wow.
Oh yeah.
Keep that up. Don't close your tab. Don't close your tabs. This is Hans, one of the Dropa stones. How similar?
Bidis, but the glyph is very old.
Yeah, there's no way I'm going to read those. I could recognize a couple of them, but they are ancient calligraphy.
They're very proto, yeah.
Very. Wow, and there's a couple things I do recognize on there.
Amazing. I get this stuff.
Yeah, what was that? Like some kind of money?
No, so that's a Bidisc, but the Bidiscs are very unknown as to where their origin comes from. This one I collected in Hong Kong. I have two of them that are very similar, different glyphs, but it's all Proto-Chinese glyphics. So, these are several thousand years old writing. I don't know how old the discs are, but I'm curious why I have them with writing on them.
Well, they used to publish a metal they used to publish a metal newspaper in the ancient Chinese. They would take like a sheet of metal and they would paint the Chinese characters on it and pass it around town, and they would copy it. And then I guess they would take them back and reuse them. I don't know. Maybe they just threw them away.
I have a book of money from all over the world. I have a bunch of old Chinese coins and old Chinese paper money as well. So yeah, it'd be interesting to pull up some of that on a show one of these days. I've got money that doesn't even exist anymore, like Yugoslavia.
It's always a pain in the butt when they suddenly cancel you out and you can't cash that money in anymore. It happened to me in Taiwan. It happened to me with Vietnamese money once. I was holding on to it thinking it was going to be worth something. And then not valuable at all. Might as well throw it in the garbage.
Right, guys, I have an early morning meeting. I'm heading out of here, but...
Thanks, Julia.
Can I show you one thing before you go?
No worries.
Yeah,
absolutely. Julia.
Okay, so we're going to look at... I just happen to know right here. This is called Spanish Peaks right there. Spanish Peaks is in Colorado. Mm-hmm. But right next to it, they've got these two volcanic dikes, so-called volcanic. I don't believe it. But the thing is how do they create it? Well, magma comes up into the cracks and fills the cracks and then gets hard. And then the other land erodes away. That's what the mainstream says. But when you look at this, you see these dikes coming up and jointing up, bumping up, actually curving upwards. I don't think that's what the geologists... I'd like to get a mainstream geologist to talk about that. This dike right here, to me, coming from the north and then jointing up with this other dike. And then over here, this other one, it does the exact same thing, but diametrically opposed. Up here, look at the way this thing joints up. Now, yeah, it goes on the other side, but it doesn't meet it. So it's like, did this happen naturally, or is that like created some kind of water
like
control?
The giant walls of America do that. There's so many of them. Anything that they tried to claim as a volcanic dike, pretty much at this point, the exact opposite is most likely dikes. From like the master builders, the Titans, or the Giants.
Yeah,
right. Like we got Titan dikes or possible leftover biogeology of trees, or who knows.
I'm looking for this other picture.
Demigod mining.
Oh, I'm gonna find it. It's
I'm interested to know about the uranium around reshot.
Oh, right, the nuclear.
So I want to know. I want to know about the uranium around that area. In that area,
we'll take a little research. To finish my point, right there in Colorado, some of these they come from mountains. I went to the ones in New Mexico. They start from mountains and they just make straight lines going across water. These two, one is Radial Mountain and the other one is
Shiprock. Right?
Shiprock is right along the same path. So you've got basically they're controlling the Shiprock's down here.
And Shiprock interlock.
Let me put in the lines. So regarding your question about the uranium, I don't know that.
How high are all of these?
These are
2,000 feet.
The mountains are sitting there, and you can drive around the mountains, but down below it's just floodplains, just like out here, right? So, I mean, we can get into the
exactly. So you could flood them and essentially turn this air desert stuff into like a paradise, like water cities, water.
Well, I'll also have like theories of like there's
irrigated lakes, inland seas, and habitability.
Well, you can see it's 14,000 feet, and then down below in the floodplain, it's about 6,000 feet. It to me, it just disturbs, it boggles the mind. Julia, I was going to try to show you a whole line of them. The ones down in okay, first of all, you mentioned Shiprock, so let's go there. It's right over here on the corner near Four Corners, which is right there. I never went to Four Corners. I'm not interested in man-made modern day lines, but when you talk about the Shiprock and these long, I mean, a lot of people just say, "Oh, that's natural." I don't think so anymore. I don't think so. These are volcanic dikes just like the others, and they look like they're put there in a symmetric way. Also, there's some other symmetric things. If you zoom out, you can see this little thing. It's part of it. That's in Arizona. But there's some kind of a weird symmetrical thing happening at Shiprock. And look at this. Look how this line just goes right in the center. It's hard to believe.
You ever been there?
Yeah, I went there. I got a bunch of pictures. And also, Michael Collins from Wandering Wolf did some drone footage that's really nice. And what you get is here, you enter right here and you drive along this road and it takes about 4 miles. And then I cut over here and I got a sample from this one right here. I went and there's a road. Actually, maybe I'm wrong. Oh, yeah. So I drove over it and then I got a little sample from right here because I want to know these dikes all have different material inside them. The ones up in Colorado look like a black and white granite.
What do you do with your samples? Where do you get it tested?
Well, that's a different question. And by the way, Nikki Anna Jones, if you're familiar with her channel, she also went up here and grabbed.
Did you see?
samples.
I just had balloons. Did you see that?
What? What happened?
Seriously? Okay, I'm glad somebody saw it because I thought I was tripping.
Was that a balloon in your camera?
Dude, there was
it
balloons
popped up on her screen. It was crazy.
What did I say? There's a key word that just makes balloons go off. I want to say that word all the time.
Exactly.
Canyon. No.
Let me go down to. Let me just show you the one I went to because
Canyon
I got some
and the balloons go off, baby.
Okay, so here we are at Pie Town on Highway 60, and when I drove in here, I had just run out. I almost ran out of gas. Look at this way it curves here, but you can see the volcanic dike. It's got the snow on the top of it. I climbed up to the top of this thing. I was totally beat, and I walked across over to this little road here. Where is that road? Where is that road? I got lost. Anyways, it's not really. It's up here. Oh, right there. That's it, right there. So I walked across this, and I was looking for this because right here it reminded me of that stuff I just showed you in South Africa, where it's like double wide at the top, but it's like it turns into this wall. So I got a lot of pictures from here, and yeah, this one is like 100 and something feet high. So I was over here at the 60. Let me just go here first so you can see how high it is. And this is 12 miles long, and it's comes straight out from the mountains just like the other one, but it's totally parallel. See how big this is? So it's got the spine, the hard crystal spine in the middle, and the loose material on each side. That's the attributes I found. And so I climbed up there and I got a little bit of that. But then there's the other one that's over here, 12. It's like 10 miles out this way, and it's parallel, like the same direction. So here's this one. This one is here, and this one is here. It took me a long time to drive over here and get in here, and I think it's right here where I went. And no, that doesn't look like it. And I got a big old rock from the middle of that. This, I know it doesn't look like much, but when you back out, you can start to see 12 miles long, like I just showed you in Colorado, coming from the mountains, straight line, where they just like mining material and decided they wanted to block off these rivers so they can control the water.
Well, that's what my theories are of, like, basically there's this really healing, awesome water beneath the earth, and that it was closed off. Like there was things done to cut that off. And think about all the areas throughout the earth that had access to those deep inner earth healing waters And the things that you would have to do. So it may appear to be mining when really it was to cover up those access points around the world.
Well, yeah, I don't think they made this long line for just mining. They had a purpose, right? I mean,
I think there's we're looking at multiple things.
Global canal networks, infrastructure, as well as built-in for agricultural purposes as well.
So to cut off the routes as well, like certain things done to, cut the water supply off, to cut that off. But I really want to know about the uranium. I just feel like there's probably a lot of uranium in that one area.
I agree. Yeah.
I would love to dive deeper into what the resources are and the minerals
or whatever.
One thing I found out, Pie Town is right at the Continental Divide, just like the one in Colorado I showed you, which is right here. Up there, this is up near Denver, but in the mountains. 2 dikes, one starting from the mountains. So I put the line next to it. So the line is right here. There's the mountain, there's the dike, and it goes like right there. And then up here, here's the mountain. It kind of wraps around and goes down this way. And there's another one that goes this way too, across the water. And that's the Continental Divide. And then down in Pie Town, New Mexico, you see the same thing going on. This long, it's not straight. It's when I say parallel, by the way, these things seem to have these switchbacks too. So you've got like a double dike going on here.
Actually highly engineered.
Water's going to find the easiest access. So if there's water along with these.
There's just
I didn't even know about this dike. I didn't even notice this one. This is a new one for me. I didn't even realize this was here. So there's like 2 right there. There's like a switchback, and you can see another switchback at the other end. Here, let me show you. I'm going to zoom out. So yeah, climbing. So by the way, this one's really high. The other one was like very small, but they're parallel. So one really high, one going over here. By the way, when I drove through here, let me see if you can see this. No, too bad, because you can really see how the walls are exposed. Let me get rid of that. I was going to show you the switchback, and it's right about here. Like you can see one here. I call it a switchback because in many examples, it looks like whatever ancient machine like just did a quick switchback. But look how it's right there where the water goes. So it may be another line reinforcing a dam. Mm-hmm. And I didn't show that one in the Rashad structure. I found 3 new dams made out of the same type of things. Not to the live audience. I showed you guys before. I'll show you that right now just because I think it's relevant. But so there's a switchback here, and then there's this parallel switchback right there. And there's more that goes down here and does some other stuff down here. So, I mean, it really should be documented. Let me find that thing. And I know you said you got to go, and it's already here. Let me show you this right here.
Yeah, we should close this up soon, but
this is the amazing. I was all about forget LiDAR. I said, we don't need LiDAR. But now must be like a LiDAR shot. And I've been looking at this line for a long time. And I always suspected it meant something. But now with this new shot, I don't know if this is real LiDAR but you see the line continue across to the other side. Now I know they were damming it here, and they were damming it probably across this part here. You can see it over here. Mm-hmm. Some type of a damming action here, and then up here, you got a bunch of straight lines going up and down, in my opinion. Like they were just like creating walls to direct the water. This is a pretty good shot, and it makes me change my mind about LiDAR. Yeah. I think we should double down on the LiDAR in the deserts.
Hopefully they don't shoot it down.
Sorry, yes.
Lots of comments. I haven't been paying attention to any comments. Oh, not on my end, but over here on this end, we got lots of comments. So, any more questions about anything at all? And what about you were talking, Bernie? You were talking about Colorado. I want to see that. Is there any chance we can look at it right now?
Oh yeah, we can still do that, Julia. If you got to go, and Hans as well. If you got to go, I can end it on your channels if you want. And Stig, we can stick around and do another hour or so. I've got.
I don't know about another hour stuff, actually. What is it now? It's almost 2 in the morning.
However long. All right, talk to you guys later.
Okay, good night, Julia.
Good night.
Hans, see you guys on the next one. Much love.
Yeah,
and,
definitely. I've got morning meetings, so I gotta dust. But this is beyond fascinating. Oh my god.
We will do it again, my friend. Thank you, and see you soon. Have a good day tomorrow, Hans, and I will share your website here one more time, brother. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I gotta subscribe to Julia. What is Julia's website? YouTube?
Both links are in the private chat, and then I am also we're live on the channel as well, but that's about to end. But we'll stay live on ours.
Appreciate
Hans,
it.
You don't do YouTube either? You're not YouTube?
I have a YouTube channel. It's called Giza Direct.
Okay. Are we streaming to it right now? Do I need to end it on yours as well?
No, I don't stream anything there at all ever live. I haven't figured any of this out. It's kind of
bro, all you have to do to do that is hit the button in the top right corner that says share with your audience.
We'll figure it out. This is all new.
We can do it on the future. Absolutely.
I'm going to be doing that from now on. I'm going to be doing that.
Yeah, Giza Direct is where I interview people. I've interviewed a couple of people. I've got a few more lined up. I want to do Patricia Iowan. I want to do Johnny Enoch.
You've done a lot of work with Johnny on his channel as well, right?
Tim Hogan. I really want to interview him. Stephen Mailer on chematology. Yeah, there's a lot. It's getting around to it, finding the time. If you don't spend the time, you don't make the time, right? So I'm making it all happen. So,
or you could just be a slave to money and just work instead.
Well, that's what I do. I do graphic and multimedia design, and I'm very proficient in what I do. So it occupies a big chunk of my life. Anyway, appreciate all you guys' time. Cheers.
Thank you, Hans.
Love. Thanks, Hans.
Nice to meet you today.
Likewise.
Hans is linked there in the live chat. Just also posted Julia's. Now we're going to end it on Julia's.
A big shout out to my little audience here. I got a few chats. Somebody asked where Jimmy is. Jimmy's getting ready for the... What's going on? Oh, I'm still getting Hans on my stream. Let's see. Jimmy's in Phoenix. Nature doesn't do 90-degree angles. Exactly, Dragnet 53. So
exactly.
The Rashad structure.
It doesn't do 90 degrees. And what is that? That's 90 degrees canals right there with some ridiculous.
Also, rivers don't carve themselves into the rock in straight lines. When you've got straight canals going in the same direction for 20 miles, obviously part of a system.
So this right here is part of Devon Island. This is part of Devon Island, the northernmost giant uninhabited island of Canada that NASA officially operates and tests all of its remote space equipment drones on for conditions or whatever. Meanwhile, there's that, and it connects through. Oh, which computer is it sharing? Oh, it's on this one. Here we go. All right. So then there is. This is on one of the corners there on Pyramid Bay. So here's one. And then I've seen very similar ones like this in actually South Africa.
In Utah as well. South Africa for sure. I can show you some very conical mountains in South Africa. It's not a volcano, but it's perfectly conical. I think it's overburden dumping. I think they created that mound you just showed us. Oh, yeah, look at that one.
That's another one in this Pyramid Bay that connects with those 4 channels. Here's another one. So this Devon Islands, it literally has these giant 90-degree channel canals going throughout with these entrances of different pyramid hills and mountains at each one.
No, I think they What do they call that with the ice right there?
Yeah, look at it. There's more of the shores there.
Lots of
frozen, the sea ice or glacial ice. This is sea ice, I guess.
Looks like sea or
just
lake.
It's insane. It's terraformed on a massive scale, whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm opening up the map over here.
And so okay. Let me know when you got it up.
Who, me? You want me to put it up? Oh, okay. I can do that. That's Devon Island right there.
So if you can look up pyramid, I think it's right in the middle of it. Oh, look at that.
I'm getting distracted.
That looks.
This is very interesting over here. This looks very similar. Sorry, that's a different island.
Yeah, let's go in. Go in deep. All good though. Let's look at it.
Well, this reminds me of what you see in Morocco. These types of lines here, I really have had a thing with these. They look naturally, but they kind of imply there's like this ancient folding of the land, and it's folding, and people say it's getting turned over, and maybe we had a magnetic pole shift and it shook the mountains up. But to me, it looks kind of like somebody was not these two. These two are interesting because they're totally different from the surrounding islands. I'm sorry. I wanted to know where those canals are that you were just looking at, the 90-degree canal entrances.
So right there, zoom in right there. Right, zoom in right there. Stop, back. No, opposite side, but that is fascinating. So it's go straight down.
Right in here?
Zoom. It's on the coast, or can you do a search?
For what? Those
so just pause right now.
Dundas Harbor right here. See, now that I call
is west of Dundas Harbor.
It's west of Dundas.
Let's look at that. That looks almost terraformed.
Well, these are moraines, right? And those are supposed to be made by the ice. And those curves. It's interesting to me how you get a split like that, but whatever. Moraines. And when you see a line like that, that could be an ancient road. I learned that from Anthony at Ancient Zero Control. He was looking at, because he's from Canada, so he's always up there looking at the area that I always considered to be under the ice sheet and flattened, and a lot of water events. But then you see these roads that look like they go across Canada. Wow, look at that. Yeah, interesting.
What?
Yeah, I've never been I don't Google Earth everywhere. This is one of the places that to be honest, I did find some stuff in Alaska that I thought was interesting, but not a lot of proof whether it was modern day or not. Look at this. What's that? That looks like
what is that?
Well, this is the stuff that I'm talking about along the Colorado River. See, let me zoom down there real quick and show you something. I'll go back up here. But if you look at like in Utah, starting in Moab in this area, you've got the Canyonlands, you've got the Colorado River coming right through here, right near the 70, right? And there's right about, where am I? There's Moab. And so there's the Colorado River going down, and where it kind of has the trivergence here. What do they call that, though? The confluence, sorry. The confluence where the Green River runs into it. You look around it and you look at all this stuff. I really feel that this is signs of like super ancient. Like see how there's layers of red on top of white on top of red again? Pardon?
Yeah.
This is Canyonlands. And just this whole thing that happened here. There's a few of them like this one right here. just the fact. Now, I'll be honest with you. If I didn't have all the other reference, I'd say, yeah, that looks natural. But because I've seen all this other stuff all over the world that's just doing all this crazy stuff, I don't really believe that anymore. And I think that they were doing some kind of a cuts here. You see too long of a straight line, right? The stuff that I failed to show you has 3 sets of parallel lines. So that's one thing going down the Colorado River. But if you follow it, you start to find all sorts of activity going along the Colorado River, and on the edges you kind of see like they tore it all up, like this stuff going on here. Like someone just ripped it all up, threw it in the water, and let the water take care of it. And then, of course, you see these weird mounds everywhere, like sticking up, and you're supposed to think that's natural. I don't know. To a certain point, I do believe it looks natural. Where's Colorado River? But these cuts right here, I don't think so anymore. I think that was some kind of they broke that up to get the material, and they threw it in the water and let the water placer mine it. I can look at my Was This Atlantis page, and you'll see a lot of really good examples of it, because it's kind of hard to just pull them all up, where they just look so much. What's this? This is Lake, yeah, right there, like this kind of stuff, like that. It seems like they're up there. They're it's not really blocks. They're not quarrying blocks out of there over here, but they're doing some type of an operation where they're grabbing the material and pulling it down.
And just on a huge grand scale.
Yo, look at this one right here. I really feel like that's just like somebody's like had a machine and they just like carved into it. Look at this one, one of my favorites.
Or actually, here's another possible explanation, is that if you raise the water level up on that and all of that area was flooded in like a giant like inland sea and like just inland sea sort of thing, that each one of those rows would be like a street, apartment, or mega like causeway of possible city or inhabitation or something like that.
Well, a lot of people say it looks like ancient cities, and I do. I do think there must have been something going on.
That's the waterways.
But so when you see a perpendicular line, like where the water did it naturally, you can see the river. But when you've got these lines going across, and I think you can see that line. Is it older than the river? I don't think so. But it seems to be going across the river. When you see perpendicular lines go across rivers, and when you see the stuff like I showed you in the Tibesti Mountains, where you've got a straight line and then perpendicular lines coming away from it, it just doesn't really add up in my head. What is this, Lake Powell? We're still up in Utah then, huh? Anyways, I'll go back up. Where do you want me to go next? I'm just saying, you see these are perpendicular lines here. And
I just envision that with flooded with more water, and then it being used as for like terracing for agriculture as well as in habitation, and it being green instead of dead and desolate and bare.
Well, and this must have been, I don't know if you can say around the world was a desert. Look at those lines. You look at how they're cut. You see 3, 4 parallel. They're not perfectly parallel, but they're in the same direction. And they go across like the river caused that? I don't think so. And then when we get even closer, look at those cuts. Look at all those cuts right there. The top of the plateau is left untouched.
Hard stone and stuff. It just it doesn't make sense.
There's a lot of stuff that I'll say is natural, but when I see those large cuts going perpendicular, and that's not really perpendicular. I don't want to sound ignorant. So where's the Grand Canyon coming soon as we get closer to it? Yeah, right around here. I don't see it all along here, so I sometimes wonder what made it more valuable spot. Sometimes I can zoom in and I can find some action going on, but most of it, I think, is where I showed you earlier. Yeah, look at that. So why are those colors like that? That looks like something that was dumped on. Oh, look at, and by the way, look at the cutting right next to it. So again, they're all in the same direction. I mean, I would probably, like I say, if I didn't see anything else, I'd probably say, okay, that's natural. Look at this one. It looks like it's natural, but just because you don't see anything else like it at all, like what happened? Did somebody cut the top of that? And you can see that the lower plateau is what they want. This is the top plateau right here. Nobody's touching it. But this lower plateau, then this happens. Like, how is that even possible that this lower plateau, about 4,800 feet, is all carved up and eroded in straight lines, but the plateaus above it, untouched and pristine? I wonder how many people. I got a couple people. Constantine, thank you for your chat there. I'm gonna read it more carefully later on. And there's also mounds everywhere. Just trying to find that one spot. You see this line right here, it seems to kind of stick out a little bit, right? So like there could have been a lot of different projects going on. And I'm back over here again. I want to find those good ones, those really good ones, but I guess I just didn't mark them well enough.
Look at a lot of those 90-degree angles up there. Like it's just
up where?
Where you got it marked up there. Yeah, look at that stuff.
I'm not sure what I was marking there. It's been a while. There's something around here that I thought was really important, and I just can't seem to find it. But yeah, you get these cuts and it's like, that's jointing. But is it? I mean, it just doesn't make sense, especially when there's three different directions of parallel lines. Literal triangles cut. Like, do you see? This is not triangles. That's two directions. And then that mound that I showed you, which is over here. That mound is just like, what the... Why would that be? You see all these straight lines, and then you've got these two round things.
Almost looks like one of the Devon Island pyramid issues.
Yeah, exactly.
All the like you were showing. They call a butte out there, I suspect, is like leftover ancient like civilization.
Yeah, some kind of a mound, you know, and whether or not it was for just marking the land or working at the top so you can see everything. You see, when you see a line like that, it's just, to me, unreasonable to think that that's natural weathering. Because when you have a parallel line break... Oh, here, this is one of my favorites right here. When you have a parallel line, like, let's take this one, for example, and when they're formed, are they happening simultaneously? And the ones that are going the other direction are happening? No, I don't believe so. These lines are too straight for me. And how far do they go? You know, I mean, this is probably less than a mile. Okay, that's only 700 feet. So it's way less than a mile. But to me, that doesn't mean that it's not impossible. I mean, just a little bit too straight over here.
Going back through the canals that you found, like for us to finish it off in the Rakot structure a bit, and like how like there's undeniable evidence of mass terraforming and canal cutting throughout that region, and like almost all of Africa and the Middle East as well. It's crazy. You were showing me how deep they go through, the ones you actually driven through.
I walked down this one right here. I got some video. It's on my channel. But this part has trees growing in it. Now you think you see trees outside, but they're really sparse. But inside of this canal, it's just packed full of trees. And the place I walked was probably up here. There's the road right there. And what I did was I finally found a place, and we walked. See, what I didn't realize, it does eventually cross, but I finally found it like right about here, and we just parked, and I walked over here and literally got in here. And to me, when I got in there, I was hoping to see machined sides, but it's just not that smooth. It's piles of rocks. I'm not prepped to go in there and get the photos, but let's just say that when you go along this thing, and you're looking at the sides, they're just too big of boulders to really see. But what I do think I do see is a bottom. Like, it's full of sand, right? And there are trees growing there. But I do believe that sometimes there's a bottom exposed, and you can see like sometimes, like, look at that right there. Like, how come those rocks would be like that? Because they were pulled out of that canal.
That has to be former foundations. I see like potential past cities and civilization.
Yeah.
And potential also the rocks maybe were cooked by like straight nuclear blast or like plasma blast from like the sun, or
I think it was terraformed, and then they see, look at this line right here. You see this line right here? That is like a little side canal that's not very. But wait, why is there another one that matches it right next to it, right there? They're perfectly parallel cuts. I don't think that could be called a canal. So I think it's like a line that's part of their terraforming work that they did, and it leads to the canal. Like, maybe it's flood control. So they put these little ridges in there.
That's what I think it actually all is. That's exactly what it is. It's all for the direction of water, and that they would direct the water. And what you're showing with the alternating these dikes and stuff, that it actually going in parallel but back and forth and stuff, so it's to direct and smooth and control and steady the slow flow of water from the very top of the continental divide all the way down to the coast. Like, it's literally macro engineered from the top of the divide all the way down to slow down these big floods as long as possible, and that they used to utilize this water in just fantastical, exponential, better ways, and that it's all been intelligently designed.
Well, and think about if the ancient Taman Reset River was serving water. There's the Taman Reset right there. There's the Rashat. It's all upside down. But if the ancient Taman Reset was actually serving this whole area with water, like the Nile was serving water, this could have been full. It could have been actually just barely engineered and balanced, that any impact, like the Tenamore crater, right? The Tenamore crater was hit right here. This Tenamore crater, which is right here, that could have been one of the impacts that triggered it. This thing is about the right age. It said something between 9,000 to 13,000 years old, or 17,000. Maybe it said 20, but it's like perfect age to be one of the things that could have triggered floods. And the Maghreb Sea, the ocean, was right up here. This is the Taman Reset Mountains right near. I showed you this earlier. I showed you the quarry fields. The Taman Reset Mountains are right here. The Maghreb Sea was probably about here. And they had it all balanced. And the minute that cataclysm happened, I think impacts. But yeah, going down those two canals, you mentioned the quarrying. This little darker patch on top, I call this Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
And I guess Graham Hancock as well as Randall Carlson have shown a lot of evidence of this Younger Dryas impact event of like catastrophic, several like giant comets or asteroids hitting the ice caps in the oceans essentially. And I get that would also create absolutely insane tsunamis and wipe out the past civilization.
Yeah, and did you take a look at the Carolina Bay survey? You know about the Carolina Bays?
No, can you?
Let me show you. But basically,
they're all like, please do show this.
Yeah, it's going to take me a
love
second.
I've been.
Well, you know what you can do is look it up on the internet and look up Carolina Bay. Let me do it from scratch, so anybody can do it. Carolina Bay survey, right here. Let's try that, and you get to this website. That's it. That's a picture of the Carolina Bays. They're all elliptical. Survey database in Excel visualization. I think it's this one. Download. I think we want that, and it'll open up. Let's do something else. What's going on here? Download? What did I do? It didn't seem to work out. But okay, so let's take a look at the pictures they've got on here. They come up to about here. That's Clovis right there. So now we know what happened to Clovis. When you get to the darker ones, it's really, I mean, you get in there and you can see the bays. Look at how many they are in small areas. Apparently there's millions of them. They're all elliptical, and they point.
What?
This is all over the U.S. and we don't even talk about this. They were called Carolina bays because they were first discovered in South Carolina, I guess, North Carolina, whatever.
Right.
Let's open. I want to open up the survey.
I got to get this. About this.
Is it here? Okay, that's it right there. Ovoid Basin Survey. So it's opening up Google Earth Pro. Let me get that up so we can see it. Here it comes. Whoops. And once we get in there, they'll start to appear. And this side hasn't appeared yet because there's so many. But when we zoom into Clovis, remember Clovis first? Clovis is right here. There's Clovis. Where is it? Right here, Clovis. All those red dots are bays. So now we know what happened to the Clovis people. And then it gets into the LiDAR scan or whatever you call this part. And you can start looking at these bays.
I see massive terracing. And it's like if they were pumping water either to the very tops and then it like cascades down to these terraces for agricultural purposes. Like, what? Look at that.
Well, when they start to overlap each other, then it kind of falls apart because, like, it's kind of difficult to go in and see these without the LiDAR scan. There's some in Nebraska, and some of them are questionable, like that right there. You know, that's kind of convenient. But what we do see is that they all aim, these ellipses are all aiming towards the Great Lakes. So if you can imagine a cataclysm here, they're in Texas. Let's go in Texas and see. I mean, there's literally hundreds of thousands of them. And there's so many that you almost feel like I don't know who did this work. It's just incredible when you get in there and you look at some of this stuff. But the LiDAR really tells the story. And you can't see this stuff without it. There he goes. It kicked in. And these aren't very elliptical. I found some in near the Grand Canyon. I thought might also be survey.
But that part of could be modern day farming.
Well, let's just say that
all the crop.
I mean, I do think that there was some major stuff going on in our farmlands as well. The terracing that you see, and look at that. You can see how the Carolina Bay stopped. The water event happened after the Carolina Bay event happened. So when you say farming, how come we don't have any down here? We have it up here on top of this plateau, but we don't have them down here because some other water event cleaned that out. I mean, it's true. It's hard to believe that all these were classified and found. And then we go over to the Carolinas, they're really big. So let me go over there real quick. It seems like it's a little too square. Like, yeah, there must be more. And Omaha also has it. My friend lives in Omaha. And these are all aiming towards the Great Lakes, right about here. So to me, I think this is a major smoking gun. And it is true that some of these are small, but when you get into the Carolina, North and South Carolina, you see a lot that are overlapping. So it's like the event happened like almost at the same time, one after the other. I mean, maybe these, and by the way, they're not direct impacts, right? So they're trying to say that these are ejecta from a larger impact, ice ejecta. So they automatically filled with kind of water and mud, and they're very shallow. They're not deep like craters would be deep, but this is more like ejecta.
So it's more likely bomb blasts, like giant. It looks like it's bombed out remains of former civilizations, because you see all these 90-degree angle, what looks like foundations or like basements of original like structure, and then in the center of them all of these giant freaking circular craters, bomb blasts potentially.
Yeah, it could have been something like that. I think water must have been involved, like the ejecta was ice, like from the ice sheet or something. But honestly, I mean, we know what happened to Clovis. Sorry, not COVID. The ovoid basin. And by the way, this gets updated, so make sure you have the 2023, or a bunch of them will be missing. Yeah, I'm gonna shut this down, but there's one slide that I have that kind of shows. Let me see if I can find that real quick. And I think I have it ready to go. Could be wrong. It just kind of shows the directions of all these lines. Here's the ones I found in New Mexico, and I thought these craters were also the same type of thing. But I talked to Antonio Zamora. He's like the guy, and he says that's not. It's too far away, he says. I'll just go ahead and believe him. I can't find that one. It's basically pointing all the way towards the Great Lakes. Here's that one that I couldn't find. Here, these geometric quarrying lines. So I showed you the one in Tassil Niger, but these lines on the left, I was going to find them for you, and I just missed them. But yeah, and they go on for a few miles. Let me see if I can find that one. I definitely need a better classification system, and maybe I am getting a little tired. So back to the Rashad.
We're 2.5. We can finish it up in 3, or if you want.
3. No, I think I'd probably want to get out of here pretty soon. I think I'm drifting off.
We can wrap it up. We're
good. What time are you? Is it 2:11?
It's 3 a.m. or 3:11 here where I'm at right now. I was saying we're at 2.5 hours in right now.
I see. One more half hour.
Gotcha. Yeah, we could tie it up pretty quick if you want. I think that's a good time. And
maybe another 5-10 minutes. How's that for a deal?
Yeah, absolutely. No worries, my friend.
This is the Squatting Man event. Maybe that's what created the Rashad structure. It certainly is round enough. Have you seen this before?
Absolutely.
You talk about giants, and I found you should check out this documentary called The Primordial Code documentary. The guy had giant's teeth in his bedroom.
Amazing. There's just so many actual accounts of this. It's ridiculous.
Oh, and you mentioned Michael Tellinger's stone circles. I can show you stone circles up near the Rashad structure. There's this area here called. Let me get rid of this. I think I lost my globe. Let's kill that. What's wrong? Get rid of it. There we go. Where's my globe? I lost it. I guess I closed it down. I was just going to show you this area near the Rashad called Tijit, and it's got a bunch of those same stone things. So, by the way, that's the other canal that's parallel. So this is one of the first things that I discovered was this line and this line. And I said, wow, those certainly are parallel. But since then, I found so many canals and stuff. But when you get down here, it seems like there's another shoreline down here. And you can see some of these lines. Look at this one right here. When we get in here, you can see that line cutting right through. Why? I don't know why, but it starts over here. There's something going on down there, and then it comes back up here.
All to direct the flow of water from like the center out, and that these once were like lusher, livable areas, but engineered that way and utilized. And it wasn't that long ago that it was just like the map claimed to show. Like,
I think maybe it's an ancient plateau that had a canal. They all got covered with dirt. Why would it be exactly the same on the other side of that? I never really figured that one out. And so you have it happening here, and it goes through all the way to this one. And then over here, you have another one over here. It looks like a damn canal, right? It looks like it was a carved canal right there. And it's almost perfectly straight going somewhere that way. So yeah, some type of activity broke that up, and it has it on the other side. You can even see the line, like they made the dam. Maybe it's modern day, but it seems like it's cutting through all the way across, right? And that's like 50 miles, so I don't know. Okay, so I was promising you stone circles over here. Let me make this north. If you come over here, like right here, you can see those stone circles that are very similar to the Michael Tellinger ones. Like there's no entry points, and you always have like a little tiny one inside.
How they're all connected too.
I mean, what's up with that? That's not a house. Nobody's living there. You can see little breakthroughs. Somebody broke through, and you can see a pathway. But why would they need 4 circles in their house? These are a little different from the stone circles down there. You can find a bunch more in this cheat area, like over here. It's not easy to find them. You got to. I found a bunch down in South Africa, but I'm sure those are all documented by Michael Tellinger. Look at that. That kind of looks like a pyramid right there, right? Oh, yeah. And then you've got the stone circles. So basically, you've got what I believe we're looking at is we're down in where the water was. So there was like a big old water event, but you're like, there's a little mound or some crap. I don't know what happened there, but you got the stone circles all around it. Who would have done that and why? They processing gold in those things?
Before we finish it up, can you take a look at the Colorado River on in the center of like Solomon's Temple there and Isis Temple and whatnot? Like, let's take a look at that exact geology. It's
sure. I'm just backing out and letting you know that's Timbuktu. I really would love to go to Timbuktu.
I want to go to Timbuktu with you, Mr. Stig.
It'd be awesome.
And we're gonna make it happen.
Well, we got to get that money, man. You know what? I just went from $10 a month to $120 a month because of Jimmy, and he got me 5,000 new subscribers. I really want to make those subscribers happy. So you said Solomon's Temple, but to be honest, are you talking about in Arizona? There's the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, it's in the lookout. It's right below the main lookout point of the Grand Canyon.
I might be going to the Grand Canyon for the first time ever very soon. The one thing though is a lot of the stuff I've shown you. You need to have an airplane to get around there. Maybe I should just look it up.
It's a no-fly zone. But it's a no-fly zone.
Cliff in Arizona.
I just want to show you the reference of the area. Like it's
okay.
From Grand Canyon Village, below that area within it is where all like the 100 temples are, and supposedly also part of where Kincaid's area is, and like this Isis temple here. Is
that on there? Can I look up Isis temple?
Yeah, Isis temple. Yeah, Solomon's temple is also right across from it.
All right.
Here it's covered up. There was the in the 1950s or early 60s, they had this supposed plane crash in the Grand Canyon, and the FBI went in, and a bunch of government agencies went in, and that is when now Isis temple. You can see it all looks kind of. The main thing being the giant gaping cavern entrance to Isis temple, what's literally called Isis temple officially. Sorry, one sec here. Trying to find the right picture. Used to have a giant. Here we go. Here it is. The giant entrance to them. Do I have it in this collection? Maybe I'm missing the picture. There's the pre-1950 pictures where it's not in here. We'll have to do it in the next show. Sorry, I will bring you back so you can finish what you were showing, good
sir. I'm looking at Isis Temple right now.
All right, let's check it out.
I'm curious about these names. This one was
there's Apollo temple, Jupiter temple, the Ottoman amphitheater, Buddha's temple. What else? There's literally every ancient god and goddess, but Solomon's temple. Yeah, like
it's some great shots. And look at that! Look at that little point on there. What's up with that? That's weird.
Exactly.
And if that's really how
3D, they're not giving us. They're giving rendered versions that, like, they're definitely not
right because it's that's for looking straight down at it. What is that? Buddha temple is here. So there's Buddha temple. Yeah, and
but look at that.
I was very. There's another one right there.
Each one of them just rather pyramidal and megalithic on a grand scale.
Yeah.
Solomon's temple as well in there.
Sign? What is this? Ribbon Falls sign. It's just a sign? Oh, it's a falls. Okay. But where's the sign? Nice. Yeah, and I don't really have the guts to go out there and just camp. But, I need my electricity. I need my internet connection. I was thinking about getting that Starlink. So that's okay. So here's that big line that's in that map you just showed. That's an interesting one. It's kind of straight, but it goes directly, not exactly directly north. Maybe not north. But, oh, by the way, one thing that I didn't make clear about the little thing where is it? Where am I? This thing right here. When you align it like that, look at the direction that it's aligned at. So you're like taking them and putting them in like maybe an alignment, north-south alignment, or I shouldn't say north-south. I should say to the top. But when you look at that, look at my little gauge. 45 degrees. Pardon?
I'd love to see the sun and moon on the horizons, on the equinoxes, solstices.
Well, it could be a solstice
year from those spots, because I bet.
Unfortunately, I don't have a way. I mean, okay. Let's find right here. Is it how many is it? So let's align it. Let's align it real quick and take a look at the degrees. So there, that is 320. Let's say 320. Okay, let's turn it this way. That is 226. Turning it this way, this is 147. Going all the way back the other way, this is 47. I don't know if that's like an ancient solstice or not. I just know that it's really weird to have two conical circles in the middle of all this other stuff going on, especially if it's natural and it's jointing like this and breaking apart and weathering. What would have created this naturally?
So on each of those lines, as each day goes by through the year, the shadow as the progression of the sun and the moon, it's a giant calendar. It would literally show you what day of the year it is by where the shadow happens to be cast onto the walls of it, guaranteed.
Yeah, but this is a big structure. I mean, that right there, can a man even climb up that? I think first of all, who can get there? Because you might need to hike for days or even take a helicopter to get there. Exactly. But take a look at this angle right here. So I'm going to put it right here like this. Make sure it's 2D. Okay, there. Now look at my compass down there. Look at the shape. Now I'm going to go all the way back out to the Rishat structure, and I'm going to take a look at the same two mounds that are being created, in my opinion, out here. Rudolph's nose and the other mound right there. So there's two mounds. If you look at the maps, it only mentions one, and then you do this. Now look at my compass. So I've aligned this up, down, straight up and down on the screen. The compass is exactly the same as the mountains in the Grand Canyon alignment. And I even found one more, but it's been a long time. In Utah, there was two mounds. I think I know how to get there. Let me see if I can get there real quick. But go to Utah, near Moab. Where's Moab? Right here. near Moab. There's these two mounds. So that's Moab right there. Okay. So one thing that I always question is out here. You have this mound right in the middle of this valley. Why? I don't know. You have stuff like this. Look at those cuts right by a river, right? Right by the Colorado River. That's near Moab. So I think that's kind of some kind of ancient mining. But what I'm looking for is the mounds that I've seen in the past. Where did I see those at? It's been a while. Maybe I won't be able to find them. I know that